It's really disturbing to watch in real time this administration roll back laws that have been in place for decades that have done nothing but benefit the people, have done nothing but to protect vulnerable groups of people and things of that nature. Um, just watch this administration just roll back these laws, repeal these laws, strike them from the books, like over and over and over, or attack them, even attack their ideals or whatever, over and over and over again. And then watch how little men, like how few men actually speak up against this. Um, I saw two things that are interesting. The first one was that they're trying to get rid of. I think the administration uh, just went to the Supreme Court to get them to try to like undo same sex marriages. That just happened in like 2008 or something like that. 2008, 2010, somewhere around there. So damn, we can't even get 15 years of, you know what I'm saying, of same-sex marriages before you guys undo that. And as disturbed or more disturbing than that, they are trying to bring back, I won't say bring back, I guess, because child marriages are still happening in this country, but they want to make it even lower. They want to make it even easier on a federal level. They want to make it very easy for children to be married. And little boys are not going to be victims of this. Like, primarily, like, not to say no little boys will, but I mean, this is almost exclusively about little girls. Almost exclusively about controlling little girls. This is crazy, and you can see how all of these things are connected. If you guys ever go back and watch the movie, I mentioned this part, but if you go back and watch V for Vendetta, it's another this is that happening all over again. There's a part in there where the lead detective like is on the verge of cracking the case. And he essentially says, like, if you go back far enough, all of these things are connected and you can see them like as clear as day. We're at that point where he was at. That's where I'm at. And that's where a lot of people are at. We can see as clear as day this train, and it's coming down the tracks. And I expect it to come down. Like, I know that the train is going to come because of the country we live in, because of racism, because of misogyny, things of that nature. Like, I know it's going to come. The problem that I have, though, is that, again, the lack of care and concern is the thing that's blowing me. It's the thing that enrages me. Oligarchs are going to oligarch. You know what I mean? Oligarchs are going to oligarch. That's what they're going to do. Corporatists are going to corporatist. Like, that's what they're going to do, right? I totally expect that. But what I will never accept is working class people who are raising their kids in this country, in this world, to just stand idly by and allow this to happen. And that's what most men are doing. Like, men are not speaking out about this. And I hate to do the whole, like, you have daughters and shouldn't you care? Oh, like, that shouldn't matter. But, like, I mean, damn. At the very least, I would think y'all would want to protect y'all daughters.
Do you think that 14-year-olds should be considered adults? Because that's what Donald Trump and the Republicans have done today and are working towards making federal and state law in the coming months. Earlier today, Trump and his goons held a press conference where they talked about the rampant teenage crime levels and the fact that there are apparently roving bands of teenagers out there wreaking havoc on the entire nation. So now Trump and state-level Republicans are proposing legislation that would make 14-year-old people and older held accountable as adult offenders, but it does not quite stop there. They are also proposing that anyone 14 years old and older is considered an adult for purposes of marriage and for purposes of how they would treat sex crimes. Wyoming, West Virginia, Missouri, and New Hampshire all recently rewrote laws that allow children to get married, claiming that child marriage prevents abortion. And the real kicker is, if you can get married at 14 years old any sort of age difference between you and your spouse that would have been considered a sex crime is no longer considered a sex.
You know what? Something that she just pointed out too, that something that they just pointed out that like a dot just got connected to. So the whole abortions discussion, they want you to despise abortions, right? And then they fearmonger around the concept of women getting abortions to do all types of evil things like this. So all the like pro-lifer people are also like pro-pedophile people at this point in my mind, because they're gonna sit up here and they're gonna allow this shit to happen and allow children to be harmed while simultaneously professing to love children and protect children. It's like, it's crazy.
Sex crime. The Utah Republican State Senate President J. Stewart Adams just used his power because his 18-year-old relative was accused of raping a 13-year-old, so he changed the law in Utah to say that if an 18-year-old rapes a minor, as long as that 18-year-old is still enrolled in high school, they're treated as a child offender and not as an adult offender, which made that crime of his 18-year-old relative raping a 13-year-old a misdemeanor, like a slap on the wrist, as opposed to a felony. Make no mistake, this narrative that the Trump administration is spinning, that there are rampant bands of teenage criminals terrorizing the nation, is nothing more than cover for the fact that they're trying to make the age of consent for marriage 14 years old. The whole thing is wrapped in trying to make 14-year-olds 18-year-olds. Also in today's press conference, yes, Donald Trump did invoke something called Section 740 of the DC Home Rule Act, which allows him to take control of the DC Metro Police, and he has done that. So what they're doing now is deploying federal officers as well as the National Guard. He also claimed he'll send in the military if he needs to sweep Washington, D.C., removing homeless people and other criminals. He was really vague about that. They will use the National Parks Police to clear any of the green areas that are in Washington, D.C. that you may have seen homeless encampments in the past. When asked, where are you going to send these people to? He said, well, nobody knows where these people came from. A lot of these homeless people, nobody knows where they came from, so they could be deported. Trump directed these police officers to go really hard on folks, saying, you have to knock the hell out of them because that's the only way they learn. They can do whatever they want. They can hit people, especially if they spit at them. So we'll keep following the federalization of Washington, D.C. and what's going on there. But do not let this story about them trying to make 14-year-olds adults so they can marry them or incarcerate them slip by you.
Very scary times. Very concerning times. Yeah. And again, the lack of concern coming from men specifically is concerning to me. I gotta say, I mean, that's what I'm about. We need men to stand up. I'm sorry, man. We need men to stand up. This is fucking crazy. Y'all about to just let these people marry off 14-year-old girls to grown adult men? You're gonna 30-year-old men dating 14-year-old girls? Like, what the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing? Where's all the protection? Where's all the protection that men claim that we provide society, that we provide women, that we provide children? There are men, you guys want me to believe, right? These are men that are coming after the kids. I have to believe that men are protectors, even though men are the ones coming after the kids. And then there are no men to stop the men from coming after the kids, but I have to believe that men are the protectors. I can't acknowledge that is that those two things conflict with one another. That that the people that are coming after teenage girls are adult men. Therefore, even if men step up, they wouldn't be considered the protectors. But that men aren't stepping up, I still can't acknowledge, or I still can't recognize, or I still can't say that men are not protectors at all whatsoever. We're not protectors as a group. It doesn't make any sense. They're going to marry, they want to be able to marry 14-year-old girls. They want to impregnate 14-year-old girls. They want to create soldiers. They want to create consumers. They want to create workers for their factories and for their farms and everything else, white ones specifically, the white races fucking plunging off a cliff right now globally. And that's what they want to do. This law is going to 1000% affect little white girls more than it's going to affect anybody else. I almost guarantee you. I will almost guarantee you that's who's going to be affected the most. Even per capita, I won't be shocked. Little white girls. Because white men, sexually assault children exponentially more than any other group of people in this country specifically. So I'm pretty fucking sure that the group of little girls they're going to go after the most are little white girls. Where's the white men at? Where the white men at? To protect y'all little white girls from these other white men. What's going on? What's happening? Y'all not doing nothing. Y'all voted this motherfucker in. He's not gone too far yet. There's this hat that they have that says like Trump is 2-0 against women. And I know they're trying to make it seem like to me, it's a double entendre. It's like he's 2-0 against Hillary and against Kamala. But to me, it reads also like he's 2-0 against the women in this country, because look at everything he has done to women. Look at the attack on women. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if the dummies who made the hat only looked at it through the lens of him defeating Kamala and Hillary, but I also wouldn't put it past him, because these people are sick and depraved. But yeah, this shit is so wild. It is so wild to me that we're just watching it happen in real time. The overturning of Roe v. Wade. They're trying to make women not be able to vote. They're reversing same-sex, or they're trying to reverse same-sex marriages. Trying to marry all 14-year-old girls, or kids, they say, but girls mainly. 300,000 black women fired from their jobs, let go from their jobs. 300,000 black women fired from their jobs since Trump has been in office. 300,000 black women. Like, the assault on women is wild. It's wild. The only people speaking up about it are other women. It's other women. There's no men. They have no help. They have no help from men whatsoever. The daddy's not saying nothing. Your uncle's not saying nothing. The brothers aren't saying anything. The husbands ain't saying shit. These are our women. Like, look, man, I live in what they would say, the most liberal state in the country, in California, right? One thing I will never do is move to a red state for many reasons. But one of the main reasons why I would never move to a red state, I'm talking about personally. One of the reasons I will never move to a red state is because I have a wife, and my wife can still get pregnant. She can still have babies. If we were to move to a red state and my wife were to need medical care, there's a chance she wouldn't be able to receive it. I wouldn't go anywhere that is going to put my wife in harm's way. And also the mortality rate for childbearing women, or women who gave birth, is extremely high in states that deny health care to women, right? Abortions. I'm choosing my wife over a baby any day, over a newborn baby or an unborn child, or whatever the case may be. Not a newborn, but an unborn child. Absolutely. My wife all day long. Like, I'm not moving to a state that will not give my wife comprehensive health care. I can't do it. I could not put my wife in harm's way like that. That's like an easy call too. That's like not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even like, oh, you're like, I'm not a fucking, like, that's crazy. That would be like a state that, that says that black men can't do X, Y, and Z. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, my wife would be like, I'm not moving to a fucking state that doesn't allow my husband the freedom to work or go get an education or whatever the case may be. I'm not fucking doing that. That's crazy. all black men got to serve 2 years working in the cotton field or working in a tobacco field. Like it ain't happening. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is insane. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what's gonna. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna. It ain't gonna. I don't know what's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take. But this should be setting off fucking blaring alarms in all the men's brains. Like this is crazy. This is crazy. So I'm ringing the alarm now. I'm banging pots and pans loudly. Man, wake the fuck up, dude. Clock in. They need our help, man. We need help. Shit, it ain't they, it's us, everybody. We need help.